Welcome, RoundTable family, to another exciting episode of the Sports RoundTable Trio Edition. I'm your host, Rowdy. As always, joined by my co-host, Little Bro Coop, and Big Boy with the new background screen, always coming to you every.
Big Boy's looking. He's got someone looking at him right now.
Yeah, I got to, stay inside sometimes because this is what happens when I go out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No doubt, 100%. Well, we hope you enjoyed Tuesdays on the Edge. If you missed that, go and watch that. We recapped all of the conference championship weekend talk that you could ever imagine. Our version of Overreaction Monday, but better. But this one, it's a loaded week, man. It's weird, no NFL games, but we got the Pro Bowl. We're going to talk a little bit about the Pro Bowl talk, flag football. It's the future, right? Coming to the Olympics in 2028. Hey, it's coming. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, it'll be exciting.
It's going to be interesting, but of course, we're going to have all things NFL when it comes to all the head coaching searches and everything else going along in the NFL. Our Adam Sherry Kobe is going to be joining us here in the next couple of minutes to give us his takes. I know he's got a little Senior Bowl spotlight he wants to talk about as well, so I'm looking forward to that. And then we are going to have one of our new segments, Games of the Weekend. This is going to consist of any NBA or college basketball games that we see on Saturday or Sunday that's going to be the most interesting. And this week just so happens to be it's straight college. 4 games we got for you. We're going to break down, talk about, give you our winners. So stay tuned for that. And of course, we got figuring out the 40 coming on later in the show. But man, how are we doing, boys, since Tuesday? How's it going?
Well, it's Thursday. You said Tuesday.
No, since Tuesday.
Oh, excuse me. My apologies. Good, man. It's almost Friday, so that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's odd that there's not going to be any football this weekend, but it's a little weird. Pro Bowl. Well.
And is the Reese's one this weekend?
I don't know if maybe on Saturday. I don't know if they would.
I think it's on Saturday.
I would hope they want to do it on Sunday at least.
No, because the Shrine game's on right now, East-West.
Yeah, Ryan Watts playing in that, but it's a big PGA weekend too. We're going to talk a little bit about that. PGA is still trying to figure out what they want to do with LIV. They had a big deal done, but it's Pebble Beach weekend, man. There's nothing better than that. They played their first round today as we're recording this on Thursday night, coming out on Friday, of course. But we're going to talk about some Pebble Beach. That's what I'll be doing all weekend since there's no football. So get to that golf, watch these college basketball games, But man, the NFL, even though there's no games, it is hot commodities. Coaching searches are finally over. The head coaching searches, that is. Dan Quinn, Big Boy's happy.
Big Boy, are you sad?
I already know Big Boy's happy.
No, I think Dan did good. I think he did good. I wish he would have stayed. It would have kept the unity of the team.
It was interesting that the Commanders kind of last minute decided to take him. And then now they're saying he less head coaching, more the offensive side is they're talking about Chip Kelly maybe going to join him on the offensive coordinator.
Smart.
I think Chip Kelly just came second to the Raiders offense coordinator. They're about to hire Cliff Kingsbury. That's the thing. And everyone's been talking about this week, and I'm interested to see if you guys agree with this. There's a lot of college coaches leaving to go to the NFL right now. Boston College head coach leaving to go be the defensive coordinator at the Green Bay Packers, right? Obviously, Nick Saban retiring, these other coaches moving around. But now you got these dudes. Obviously, Cliff makes a little bit more sense. But another head coach
in the league. And Chip was in the league too. Well, they were trying to get rid of Chip last year.
I know.
And basically told him he wasn't coming back. And then I guess they kind of said, "No, we might need you." I don't blame Chip for leaving. But I think, listen, man, being a college coach there is no breaks anymore, You're recruiting recruiting your own guys and dealing with NIL.
Yeah, the NIL is the killer, man. Most of those guys don't want to have to deal with that. Most of them just want to go to NFL and deal with contracts, and that's it.
Well, you don't even deal with that. You just say, "Who are my players?"
Yeah, exactly. They just go and coach football and do that. Now
I think the NIL is more done by the collectives and stuff like that. But you literally have the transfer portal, so you're recruiting during that time. You're recruiting your own players so they don't enter the transfer portal all the time. I
it's
mean,
year round, is what you're saying.
Kissing every 17, 18, 19-year-old's ass to get him to stay the second team linebacker because you think he's going to start in 2 years. Like,
Yeah.
It's and the money is better in the NFL. I mean, for some of them, to go from a head coach to a coordinator, maybe not, but
yeah, I mean that's
depends where you're at.
Yeah,
big one. I mean, Boston College. I mean, that dude turned that program around, right? He probably keeps maybe another year, 2 years good there. He's probably looking at a top college job, and now he's going to be a coordinator at Green Bay.
I mean, the NFL is where that's
the highest level, man.
It's the highest level. That's why don't be surprised if your coach bolts at. Hopefully, he wins this one first. Sorry, that's who I'm talking.
He's not going anywhere.
Well, speaking of Sark, I don't know if y'all saw, and this kind of goes along with that, full-time 365 days a year job that it is now. There's all these new positions kind of being just put into college
aid,
teams, right? Like general manager, that's a new position.
Lane, yeah, Ole Miss hired him today,
and so Steve Sarkisian's director of player personnel that he brought in, stud Billy Glassnock, I believe is his last name. How you say that? This left today to go to Ole Miss to be their general manager. So, I mean, like these titles are just coming out like you've never heard of a general manager for a college football team, right? That's what this stuff is now. It's taking some loads off these head coaches' plates because they got all this other stuff that they got to do all the time now and worry about. I mean.
Yeah,
and what him and Lane have that little relationship there. So, was that like, okay, go ahead, or was that like, I'm going to stick it to Sark? Watch this one.
It's interesting because I know Lane had posted on his. He's always that's his thing. He's active on Twitter, always posting.
Mm-hmm. He's funny.
He was in Tuscaloosa a couple weeks ago. He was always posting. He was there, and last night he posted one at the private airport, and it was a. Longhorn in front of like the airplane, like a little fake like Longhorn.
Oh, really?
And he posted it on his Twitter last night. But it's interesting. But going back to the NFL, for the little talk there is when it comes to the Pro Bowl, obviously the Thursday skills challenges are going down right now as we're recording this. I like it some of the guys, they really look at it as like a vacation, no doubt. Especially the ones with kids, like 100% vacation. Like you're right there next to Disney World. And then you got some of these young dudes who just go and just jack around the whole time. I can only imagine the things that they're doing. So whenever they're not having to do stuff for the NFL.
And think about when it was in Hawaii. That's why they would want to go. I mean, because it's like Orlando. Okay, we can go to Orlando, but Yeah,
I mean, they got some dudes there. They got Eli and Peyton coaching it again. So that was interesting. I know whenever I was watching it earlier, they were out there doing the skills challenges with them and coaching them up. It was interesting. Baker Mayfield did take down CJ Stroud in the quarterback throwing one in the finals, though.
He won it?
Yeah, Baker won it and then hit CJ's famous dance move that he does. But
Baker made him some money this year, man.
Oh yeah, 100%. And it's funny. What was funny was they were all just talking about how out of breath they were after you could see it, and they're like, "Yeah, I mean, we ain't done shit in 2 weeks since we took that L." Like Baker's like, "I haven't thrown a pass since I threw that pick." But looking over to kind of on Sunday, obviously, is the big flag football game. But they're also doing more. They got the Gridiron Gauntlet coming back. New one this year, Tug of War. That'll be interesting because
that's a good one.
That's crazy. That could get crazy.
Some of those big boys are going to get at it. They got Move the Chains. They have a new one for sinners and like long snappers, a snapping one that they're doing to try to get those dudes involved. So I'll be interested to see it. Who are they
doing the tic-tac-toe thing again?
Yeah,
with the kickers.
The tic-tac-toe is what they call it.
Yeah.
And then obviously the flag football game, which I I found interesting. The offensive coordinator for Hayden's team is Wes Welker.
Yeah.
I forgot he was still working his way up the ranks in the coaching world.
Do you think they'll play in the Olympics when that's a sport in the Olympics, the flag football team? Like, do you think there'll be actual people that go out and play for us?
Like NFL?
Yeah, like Tyreek Hill. Because who's stopping Tyreek Hill in a flag football game? You know what I'm saying?
Nobody.
No one.
Yeah.
No one. No one can stop in a normal game, but in a flag football game, there's no one stopping them.
I don't know if they're going to play or not. It'd be cool if they did.
That's a gold medal.
It needs to be like, we'll see, like when the dream team, y'all are way too young, but the first original dream team is when they said, okay, pros are going to play. And that was the one with Jordan and Bird and Magic and all that. And it was just, utter domination.
That's how it should be.
That's what I hope so.
I think
that's our sport.
Yeah, exactly. Imagine if another country comes out and wins in football. You know, come on.
I think some of the dudes will play like Tyreek, and then obviously like a lot of the younger dudes. Like, I can see CJ being like one of the quarterbacks, no doubt. Like some of these other young dudes, like Gibbs. No way Gibbs is not playing that. Or maybe even Bijan. Those two has your running backs who can go and catch the ball. Like, obviously, I don't know what the rules are when it comes to lining up and all that kind of stuff, but Laporta, all those young dudes I could see playing, especially because they're in the summer. So,
but even a tight end, if he's not really blocking, we just want all receivers. We don't even need a tight end.
Laporta, but his hands, he's got some of the better hands than some of these wide receivers.
Yeah, but yeah,
that's what I'm saying. I was thinking about it earlier. I was like, no one's stopping Tyreek Hill in a flag football game.
No.
So,
there's a lot of guys.
I feel like they would want to go win a gold medal. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be cool.
No doubt. Well, joining us here in a little bit for our roundtable chat of the week is going to be none other than Camden Kelton, Angelo State baseball player. Make sure you stay tuned for that. One of the top D2s in the whole nation. National champion from last year. He was on the squad, one of their key contributors. Stay tuned for his chat with us as they look to go and win another one back to back. But looking over, I know I'm sad, Adam Sherry, I don't think he's going to be joining us anymore tonight. Some stuff came up, but we'll move on without him.
Hey, he's hot on the text messages. He got he has a Senior Bowl going on. I get it, man.
He's out there scouting. He told me he had a Senior Bowl report almost. Yeah. But he had some breaking news, so he had to go and adjust it. So we'll have him on next week. But next week's going to be a big one. We'll hit on that in a little bit. I'm pumped for next Friday's show, the preview of the Super Bowl. But kind of looking at it, going to our news segment. We can always come back and talk some NFL, but going to the news segment, the games of the weekend, and it's a big one for college basketball. Obviously, outside of Texas, we'll talk about their games and the figuring out the 40 section. But looking around the college basketball landscape on Saturday, there's just a 3-banger trio that is just back to back to back throughout the day. That's going to be packed, and it starts off with number 4 Houston on the road against number 8 Kansas. Houston coming off obviously that double overtime or single overtime win against Texas. Kansas, I think, won 3 of the last 5. Coop, what do you got on that game?
Well, I have listen, Houston's playing good basketball. Obviously, we saw them pull it out against Texas. Kansas has been doing good. They have 2 losses, which is kind of odd in the Big 12. West Virginia, they lost to West Virginia and Iowa State in the past 5 games. So Houston hasn't beat in every category. Points per game, 74. Kansas has Houston beat in the points per category. Kansas is averaging 79 points. Houston's averaging 74. Other than that, Houston has it in every other category: rebounds, assists, everything like that. So Houston's hot, 5-game winning streak. and
They're good, man.
I expect it to be the same. This is crazy. It's a Big 12 matchup. Isn't that weird to think about?
yeah, it's Houston versus
Kansas.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
and it's a big one, right? Because it's at Kansas. Obviously, Houston's a powerhouse. But in the Big 12, you got to win at home if you're going to be able to have a shot to be up there at the end of the season. I know, kind of building off of that. Obviously, you mentioned Kansas scoring more points than Houston, but Houston is right now the #1 ranked defense in all of Division I college basketball, holding opponents to only 52.9 points per game. So, I mean, and that was kind of impressive with the Texas game, right? I mean, they were able to kind of score against Houston, which was
That
good.
second half. That second half,
yeah, which was a good showing for Texas. We'll see what Kansas can do. They've kind of obviously still ranked #8 just because of the powerhouse they do have, but they have had some games where it's real bad.
But Kansas's offense is putting up points. They're averaging 80 points a game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be interesting.
That's going to be a good offense versus a good defense.
And obviously, I mean, Houston's offense. I mean, LJ Cryer and Sneed, those dudes can shoot the rock. So those two dudes are shooting, man, and U of H is playing their D like they have been. Hopefully, Texas maybe didn't expose something in that second half that maybe Kansas is going to go after too. We'll see. Be interesting. I'm going to go with Houston on the road. I think their defense is just going to be too good.
Going Kansas at home.
Kansas at home.
Yep.
Okay. I'm going Houston as well.
Go ahead and send me y'all's money.
That's funny. Well, the next game right after that one, just following it up, man, is you could argue probably one of the biggest games in college basketball in the regular season. Just with the past history now, and obviously with how good these two teams have been just over. I mean, I don't even know how many years, man. They've been so consistent, and it's #7 Duke at #3 North Carolina. The Tar Heels at home this year against the Blue Devils. Big matchup for both of them. Coop, what do you got?
Well, I don't know if y'all know this, but North Carolina's coming off of a loss by 1 to Georgia Tech, which that's pretty crazy, pretty big loss there. Yep. I'm a big Tar Heel fan, though. I love Tar Heel basketball. Love the colors. Their colors are great. But both of them are pretty similar. Duke's averaging 81 points a game. North Carolina's averaging 82. Both giving up 67 to 69 points. So it's a pretty even matchup. So I'm going to go with the home team, which is the Tar Heels this year, to kind of get their get back. They haven't been doing great against Duke in the years past. So I'm going to go with the Tar Heels to break that little streak.
I second that. I second that. Yeah, well, I mean, hey, I love the color.
That's your favorite color, big boy.
Yeah, exactly. Easy.
Yeah, you should have just showed up rocking the you seem like a dude, and I may have to buy it for you, that just rocks a Tar Heels jersey. Like I could just see you rocking.
I had one at one point. I had a Jordan.
And his blue Jordans.
Yeah, I want those shoes so bad. I want them so bad. The low top.
Yeah.
Oh man. But yeah, I had a Jordan jersey at one point in my life. The baby blue and the white. It was so crispy and clean. Golly. Good times when we went out in that, boys. Good
I'm sure it was. Coop kind of mentioned both of how their offense and defense is on just the whole season. I mean, they both been playing pretty good. Obviously, that tough loss a couple games ago, or last game they just played. But I think it's going to come down to that home environment from North Carolina, and if they can really force Duke to make some turnovers, and if that crowd can get into it, I think it's going to be close, man. I'm going to go with North Carolina just because they're at home. But like in these kind of games, you kind of, when they're this close and almost even talent, you got to go with the home team there. So, and then the next Saturday game to close out the Saturday slate is #5 Tennessee at number 10, Kentucky. Very interesting game.
Upset here, boys. This is an upset.
Two of the best SEC teams. There's not very many good SEC teams, but these two are two of them for sure. Two of the top 10. Coop.
This is an upset. The Kentucky offense is too good. They score too many points. Now their defense gives up still 77 points, but they're averaging like 80 or 90 points a game. So that offense is going to come in and roll at home. Tennessee's coming off also on a loss to South Carolina, scoring only 59 points against South Carolina. So I think they're both teams are going to be able to score. I think Kentucky comes out and outscores them at home. So I'm going to have Kentucky, number 10 Kentucky beating number 5 Tennessee, upset.
I like it. Yeah. You mentioned this Kentucky's offense, number 3 in the nation at that 88.6. But Tennessee's defense is one of the better in the nation. They're number 44, right? So still top 50 defense in the nation, only giving up 65.9 points. So it's kind of another offense-defensive battle, like kind of like you said. You feel like with Kentucky being number 10 and having a number 3 scoring offense, you feel like their ranking will be a little bit better. That just kind of shows a little bit about their defense. If Tennessee's shooters can get hot, man, and stay hot like they have been recently, I'm going to go with old Rick Barnes and the Tennessee to pull this one out on the road against number 10 Kentucky.
I agree with you, Rowdy. I'm going with Tennessee on that one. Y'all got a lot of the facts out there before I go. So I'll go with Rick Barnes.
Rick Barnes it is. All right, and then the last game of the weekend, our big games of the weekend. On Sunday, a little interesting, we got number 2 Purdue. They've been hanging around that number 1, number 2 spot at number 6 Wisconsin. Battle of the Big Tens. Two of the top 6 teams. Coop, what are you feeling on this one?
Wisconsin's defense is good, man. They're only giving up like 66 points a game or something. But both teams, by the way, I don't know if y'all know this, both teams are on win streaks. Purdue is at 6-game win streak and Wisconsin is at a 5-game or 3-game win streak. But this past game, Purdue lost or won against Northwestern in overtime. They went to overtime with Northwestern. So although Purdue's averaging almost 86 points a game, I think the Wisconsin defense shows up against Purdue. And yeah, I'm going with Wisconsin, another upset in the Big Ten.
All right.
Purdue all the way. They're going to score. Their big man's going to score. It's going to be game over.
Yep. I mean, Purdue, they got the number.
Also, hold on. Let me add to that.
Offense. So
Purdue's also field goal percentage is at 50%. They're shooting 50% field goals. That's pretty freaking good. Anything the more normally you see in the 40s is about normal. They're at 50. So
yeah, I mean, number 7 scoring offense, averaging 85.8 a game.
Yeah.
It's
just Wisconsin defense, man, is giving up less than 70 points a game.
They're good, man, and obviously number 6 team in the nation. And Wisconsin was one of those teams who's like usually like not up there with some of these bigger teams in the past couple of years. So I just think Purdue, they kind of have that bounce back game. Like you kind of said, they had that close game against Northwestern. They're looking ahead. They're looking ahead to this next game. So I'm going to go Purdue as well to pull out the Sunday victory. Kind of weird. Some big college basketball games on a Sunday. I'm not used to that. But that's about to be the new normal. So
no football. What am I going to do?
I don't know, big boy. Me and you both, man.
You're going to have to learn some basketball.
Well, I
like basketball. I just I only have a certain amount of time for extracurriculars, and right now it's focused on football. So I'm watching the Longhorns every time. So
we'll still have some football segments this year, no matter what. Without
Thank
football
God.
season, we still have to talk about football. So we'll figure out some segments for us to talk about.
Of course, no doubt about that. Well, kind
Hey,
of.
Sark's on at the Shiner Bowl, the East West Bowl.
Oh, they're showing him.
Yeah,
That was
he's
probably where
interviewing
he just
in the
got-
booth.
That's where he just got inducted. right?
Inducted, yeah, to the
Where
Hall of Fame.
they play
Right there.
that?
Huh?
Where do they play that?
It's in Mobile, isn't it? Or is that the Reese's one? Didn't know that.
That's the Reese's.
Yeah, that's the Reese's one. I'm not sure where it's at.
I don't know. I feel like it'd be like in Texas, but then again, I don't know.
I don't know. I can't see the field. A kid from Texas, San Antonio just caught a 2-point conversion from Tua's brother.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But see,
Yeah.
that's what I do like is how they have these kind of 3 other games now for all the dudes who don't get that normal Senior Bowl invite, because since they opened it up to the juniors now, it's stupid.
Yeah. My favorite one was the one where they all wear the stickers. Like the helmets with every single sticker on there. That's what.
Oh, yeah.
When I was young, I was like, "That's what I want to go to. I want to go to that one."
Yeah. Well, that is the games of the weekend, big games of the weekend. College took over this weekend coming up, man. Kind of looking at now, you know what time it is. It's one of Big Boy's favorite, the figuring out the 40 acres. You know, we got a little bit of both tonight. We got some football, we got some basketball talk. First, we're gonna start off with this basketball talk, though, for the Longhorn fans that we got watching here. Coming off a tough overtime loss, man, against Houston on
2
Monday
loss
night.
straight now, man.
Coming off a tough one. Now, you know, they've had a good couple days rest, right? They were kind of on that short turnaround from that BYU game to the Houston game. Now coming up, they got at TCU this
There's
week
on a 3-game winning streak.
on Saturday at TCU, which I don't believe is ranked. I knew they maybe were ranked. I don't know if
They're ranked 25. Ranked
okay.
25.
I didn't know if they still stayed up there.
Yeah.
So Texas at TCU on the road. And I did see a thing today where TCU's marketing has given out like it was either 100 or like 200 horns down shirts for them to wear in the front rows of the student section. So you already know going into the hostile environment at TCU, it's going to be coming.
Oh, and what's his face is gonna throw a fit, you know?
Yeah, I mean,
what's his name? Freaking
and it's going to be interesting.
Yeah.
Because we saw Texas defense still struggling going up against TCU's offense, man. Number 20 in the nation, 83.7 points a game.
Yeah.
That's not good.
No, it is not. It is not. It's gonna, man. Texas shooters better be on. Hopefully Abe Smith, you know, he's kind of gone off slow the last 2 games, so maybe he kind of just needed this little break to get going. Maybe all the shooters did, because Tyrese Hunter better show up or IT Horton better show up. Because like we said on Tuesday, you can't keep being a two-man show on offense. So
yeah, Horton, man, he was a scorer, and they thought coming in that he would be that guy, and he just isn't, man. I don't know what it is. The rims are higher at UT or something. I don't know, but
or just the defense in the Big 12 is a little bit better than
yeah. But he misses some wide open shots too. You know, I mean, it's not all defense.
I mean, think about it too. It's the same thing with Weaver, right? I mean, he was one of the top 3-point shooters in the league last year at UTA, and he comes and
he's gonna come around though. He got some time. He will. He got time. He's gonna be there a couple years.
Coop, you got anything on that one?
Well, I just want to say one thing. I didn't realize this until I actually looked at it. Texas is averaging 15 assists a game. That's low. That's low. I don't know what ranking that is, but that tells me they're not moving the ball around. They're relying off of like quick points and like wide open stuff. They're not like running like any plays and like moving the ball.
You know
what I'm saying?
It's because only 2 guys can freaking score. So
Well, that's
only
the problem.
and everyone's on Abe Smith and Disu. So by the time someone passes them the ball,
You got to move the ball around, get them open.
they got to dribble about 10 times before they can get the shot off. So then there goes
Move
the
the ball
assist.
around. Come on, man. But that's what I have about that.
They need to hit the boards too. I mean, if they can't,
yeah,
if they can't rebound. I mean,
we've been saying that.
hey, and let me ask you a question, Rowdy. You say Disu. Is that how he? I've always said Disu.
I think it's Disu.
You always say Disu.
So
I've just always wondered that. I was like, maybe I just don't know.
I think it's because whenever I look at my notes over here and just read it off of what it says on the paper, it just comes off that way, you know. But I'm sorry, Dylan Disu. Go get
I didn't. I thought maybe I was wrong.
Rebound. Go get a damn rebound since you're supposed to be in center, and we can talk. Okay.
I just hope Shedrick can get healthy enough for, if we can make the tournament and see if we can make a run. Because again,
my thing is, like, I understand, and this is where it hurts too with when we've talked about the big men, is if Texas had another big man on the bench that they could trust, I feel like Caden would have set out some of these games, man, and like
been able to rest up.
It's like setting out a game besides towards the start of the season. Like, he gets hurt every game. Like, he needs a full 2 weeks off, but they can't. I mean, because the Sioux can't play. There you go. The Sioux can't play the whole game.
Sioux.
And so, I mean, it's tough. They're the big man problems. I mean, it's not going to get fixed. So I got to figure out
which is different at Texas, man. They're used to having the big boys.
They're not going to grow overnight, but
they can get more aggressive, though. You can't do that. You can't do that. And
I really do think Shedrick being hurt has, because they wanted Disu more. Yeah, Disu was hurt in the beginning of the season, but they wanted he's more a scorer and outside. They needed him really crashing the boards and really being physical down low. And I think he could be that guy, but I just he's just banged up.
Yeah, both of them. I mean, yeah, it'd be interesting. I mean, they're going to need to get it going offensively, because Tuesday nights, Texas back at home, but the red hot Cyclones, number 12 in the nation, are coming to the Moody Center on Tuesday night. Iowa State's defense, number 6 in the nation, at only giving up 61.8 points per game. It's a big 2-game stretch for the Horns.
Yeah.
After dropping 2.
After
winning 2 big ones, then dropping 2. It's a big 2. It's a big 2. And TCU is one that needs to happen, even though it's on the road. It's one of those ones, like, this is the one you got to make up for losing to UCF at home, right? You need to go win it at TCU on the road, and now you get Iowa State at home, though, at least, is the big plus there. But Iowa State's defense, man, I mean, they're carrying the squad to their hot run that they got going on right now. It's going to be an interesting one.
And we talk about, UT, but I mean, they took Houston, the number 4 team, to overtime, and really, they could have pulled that one out in regular time. They had it to win, but it's Iowa State is looking good. It's I give it to the crowd. The crowd was hype as heck again for that Houston game. So hopefully they show back up and they get that home court advantage.
Which I think a TCU win would do. That. I mean, obviously for the team itself, but also for the fan base, knowing that you just bounce back after a tough overtime loss at home to go on the road to it's going to be a hostile environment at TCU for sure. So it's going to be interesting. Coop, what do you think on that one?
Man, I don't know. I just, it's just, I don't see any want to, man. There's no want to in this team. And I don't know why. I don't get it. I really don't understand why. It's just, I don't know. I'm scared of the next 2 games, and especially off of losing 2 games. And then, we won 2 games. Yeah. But that UCF loss at home is still in the back of my head, So I don't know. Like we've been saying, they need to gel. They have to figure that out. Hopefully they can pull out some wins in the conference to make it to the freaking tournament at least, you know. So I don't know. I just want to see like a want to factor, you know. I don't know.
And that whole horns down thing did light a fire under them for a couple games. So
Maybe I'll do it again.
It's gonna happen again
maybe
at
we'll do it
TCU
again.
because they got shirts for it.
Because when they're playing their best, I mean, like I said, they played with Houston. BYU wasn't close.
Well, I have a question for y'all, man. You know, going in the SEC next year, and they've made it clear about the horns down thing that that's not going to be a penalty and all that. What do y'all have thoughts on that? Figuring out the 40 here.
It's fine. It shouldn't be a penalty.
I know
Thoughts
it
on
should be, but like people are making it a big deal. What would you
I
say?
think people made it a big deal because Rodney made it a big deal, and everyone was like, "Oh, see, they're soft and this," and you know, I don't know if the players give two shits. I mean, I doubt they do. I mean, I don't think it comes that's more of a
There's
fan thing, and it's
there's a lot more talk that goes on at those college basketball games that does a lot more to a player than a horn down does. I can promise you that.
yeah.
So,
I think again, I think Rodney kind of overreacted because he just lost at home when he had a 15-point lead. I think that was more about it, and he was just pissed off at his players, and that's the first thing he saw. And
to a 12-8 UCF team now.
Yeah, and so I don't. I think more was made of it than anything. I mean, again, players don't give a shit. I guarantee they're not worried about that. You know, like Cade said, that the verbal, verbal stuff is a lot worse than that at those games, and I still it's no matter what you want to say, the horns down is like it's almost like paying homage to UT because we're in their head so much when it comes to that. Like again, we see people doing it when Texas isn't even playing.
Bro, I saw it at the Thunder game on Monday night on the big screen.
So I mean, well, I mean they're in Oklahoma, so I
still like it's an NBA.
But you don't have your own home, sign.
They were playing the Timberwolves. Like
Yeah.
there's
Has
no
nothing to do with anything.
on either one.
Yeah. But I don't. I just think it's something to talk about.
Yeah, and I'll just ask that because I've been seeing stuff that like, oh, the Texas fans are gonna cry all year because they're going in the SEC next year. And
I saw all that.
Yeah, so I was like, I don't know, who cares? Like, who cares?
Yeah,
I was just wanting to ask y'all that, see what y'all thought about it.
It's funny, man. It's and they're gonna get it a lot in the SEC.
Oh,
and
they're
SEC
gonna freaking wear it. Can you
Yeah.
imagine that A&M game or something at Kyle Field? Come on.
Yeah, but at least A&M has their own hand sign. They can do their little thumbs up. But
Yeah, but they won't. You won't see. That's the thing. That's the problem. You will not see one of them done.
Yeah.
They're all freaking throwing the horns down. So
Awesome. Let's go. I can't wait for that game, man. Golly, it's gonna be awesome. Huh?
Listen, I better be there. That's all I have to say.
At the A&M game?
Yeah. I'll make sure I'm there.
You gonna wear your OU shirt or what?
No, I'll be a graduate, actually. Thank you very much.
Awesome, man.
Even worse.
Thanks, man.
You can have your alumni shirt on.
Yeah, right. Has freaking grad.
Yeah, the ring on.
Yeah.
Well, looking else around the Big 12 real quick, find it kind of interesting. You got number 15 Tech at home. Cincinnati's coming. These are those kind of must-win games that these teams that are ranked out of win. But the interesting one that I think is big, which is Saturday night on ESPN2, is you got number 12 Iowa State at number 18 Baylor. So that's a big one before their matchup versus UT on that Tuesday, and it almost makes you think. And what I would think is correct is Iowa State's going to go straight from Waco on Saturday nights to Austin on Sunday, and be in Austin on Sunday and Monday and play on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If I was to guess. with all the travel, I mean, there's no point for them to go back to Iowa either late Saturday night or Sunday morning and then come back to Austin on Monday because they get there the night before. They practice the night before. So they'll be it's a long road trip for them. So maybe they'll be a little, tired down for that defense will crack a little bit.
Maybe they'll go out party in Waco.
Yeah,
I'm just playing.
They'll probably just get to the Austin early and go to Austin early. But
Yeah, take them to 6th Street. Get some of them dirty 6 girls on them. Fucking get them tired out.
oh yeah,
Mhm.
we'll still here joining us in the next couple of minutes is going to be Camden for our roundtable chat. Stay tuned for that. But to finish off, kind of figuring out the 40, obviously, real quick, I just kind of thought of it is to shout out to Christian Jones and Sweat making them some money.
No. Shout out freaking Sweat doing what he did to that A&M O lineman. Did y'all see that? He
Yeah.
made him
And
look
the
like a
Arkansas
girl.
Center.
Yeah, in the Arkansas one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that one too. But there was an A&M guy.
Yeah.
A&M
The
O
guard.
lineman.
They both made them some money.
Didn't stand a
Especially
chance.
Jones. I mean, Sweat was kind of already up there, but Jones, he may have got him in there before round 7 or even undrafted. I think I see him round 5, round 6 for him. So good for him.
And good on Coach Flood because when they came, he was like an afterthought.
Yeah, nobody.
And even when he stayed last year or this year, it was kind of like, why is he staying? As far as like he might not even have a job, but he really stepped up and he was a leader of the team, and he's one of the best linemen in the conference.
No doubt. Oh yeah. But kind of looking over back to the football side of things for UT, over from our guys, our Horns 24/7. They had some good stuff come out today, kind of with the first workouts coming through. And obviously, I mean, you know who the leaders are going to be this year. I mean, it's those dudes coming back right on offense. Quinn, obviously, Gunnar Helm is going to be one of those dudes. And then, I mean, you got 5 returning offensive linemen with starting experience, not even counting Cam Williams, right? So, I mean, that offense on those positions, I mean, it's there. Running backs, too, pretty much. Defense, especially. I mean, Jahade coming back, massive for one of those. Collins, Broughton, Ethan Burke, Sherrill, even Derek Williams now, too. So it's going to be interesting. They're saying really Malik Muhammad is really coming on the scene for the leadership style. Like
boy, right there.
Nice.
He's going to have he's primed for a massive 2024, I think.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Brooks is too. I think a lot of people forgot about Brooks. Like
Brooks is just, I mean, bro, he's younger than Muhammad is. Like,
yeah.
And last year was Brooks' first real go at it. And I mean, he's a talented dude too, but I mean, they're both penciled in as starters, no doubt, 100%. There's no way they're not. But kind of looking on some of the early enrollees, some of the freshmen and transfers. Isaiah Bond was clocked at 22 miles per hour. Speedster. Ben, obviously, wide receiver. Xavier, Phil Sammy is
big one, that pronunciation maybe.
That was pretty good. But he's hitting the ground running, man. He's gonna try and probably have that third safety spot, you would think, obviously with Makuba back there with Derek Williams. So probably having Xavier as number 3 with Taffy out there at number 4, hopefully Xavier, they will take number 3 from Taft, but we'll see. And then Ryan Wingo, just crazy athletic, fast, long, exactly who they thought. So that wide receiver room is going to be
loaded.
It's loaded. It's the most deep room probably on the whole roster. One of the most talented too.
Sark just needs to be in his office, just writing plays.
That's a very competitive room this spring. Very competitive room. And then of course, Colin Simmons, all it said, arrived ready to work. So, he's going to find his way onto the field one way or another, even with all the edge guys coming back that there is. He's going to find his way onto the field. And then two, a little update, which y'all will enjoy. I haven't sent this over to y'all yet, but the indoor practice facility, it's supposed to be going in right next to the field, is supposed to begin work this summer and be done hopefully April 2025. So next April. So take under a year. Just take under a year. It's going to obviously, when we've seen the renderings, the full length covered field and outdoor right next to it. And what's cool is, and for these college athletes, especially at UT, they know how impossible it is to park. Beneath all of that is a fully underground parking garage, and it's for all UT's 500 student athletes. Every sport gets to use it.
Wow.
Hold on, question. With this, are they tearing down the bubble?
I don't know. They didn't say. I would have.
Yeah, I think they are. I think they're tearing down the bubble for
Yeah.
the swim center or whatever. They're knocking.
I love the bubble, man. I
Well,
love driving.
It's time
by
for the bubble to go, man.
And then DKR, the plan is to replace the field turf and DKR to natural grass for the 2026 season. So 2 more seasons going back to natural. Yeah. So that'll be interesting.
That gets someone a job though.
And then I don't know, obviously we don't really drive down in Austin lately, but they've started to tear down the Irwin Center. It's underway.
Really?
Yeah, they're
doing putting there
inside out, and so that's where they're moving the expansion of the Dell Medical School.
The medical school.
Wow.
That's where everything's kind of moving because medical's going there. The place where the indoor practice facility is going, I can't remember who the School of Social Work has been located there, is moving kind of over to where the Dell spot was, old spot, and now they're kind of just all a little tree.
I would have thought they would have kept it for like rodeos and stuff, but it's bigger than the Moody. The Moody's small, man.
Yeah, that's primetime real estate, though, man. They got to get something nice there, something else there than just a. But going back to the players, did they say anything about Sadir Mitchell or Bryant?
Not on. The only things they said about for returning guys were some of like the leaders that were kind of stepping up for the upcoming spring ball. I mean, they got who else they got on here? They said CJ Baxter and Anthony Hill as two of those dudes also. So you kind of got the big four. You could say Derek Williams, Anthony Hill, CJ, and Malik from those freshmen from this past year. Kind of make that next step up for those leaders, because there's going to be a lot that leave after this next coming season too. So got to keep replenishing. But that's all I got.
I want to see what Colton Balsick does too, man.
Yeah, and he was, I mean, pretty much hurt all year, so he didn't really get back or whatever. So, and as I know, those are always interesting to play around with.
Because I really think Burke, man, I think he can be something. He was hurt too. Like that length, you can't teach those arms. He has Inspector Gadget arms, man. He's athletic as heck too. So
yeah, the edge room's going to be besides the wide receiver room, the edge room's probably got to be one of the
running back room too. I mean, you got Red, you got the freshman coming in, you got what's his name? It was on special teams all the time. Trey. Yeah.
Yeah,
Baxter's still there, right?
Yeah.
The competition for after number 2, yes. For who's going to be the number 3 back, yes, 100%. But you're 1 and 2, 1A, 1B is Baxter and Blue. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, who probably gets the nod to start the year? I'm sure it's probably going to be Baxter again.
Yeah.
But 1A,
Blue.
They'll throw Red in there too.
1A, 1B. Trey too. I mean, they're saying. I mean, obviously, when we talked with Eric, Eric thinks Trey's going to end up being.
Trey's a dog, man.
The Soto boy, come on.
Yeah, he's a dog.
But then too, I mean, it's kind of like the thing you got to think about the Jarrett Gibson, the more talented freshman compared to Christian Clark. You know, they're going to find a way to get Gibson some carries too. I mean, because now it's kind of like those things as a freshman, you kind of have to. Got to kind of find a way to get them going. Christian Clark probably be like how Trey was on special teams this year, guarantee you. So
That's one thing, they lost both gunners, so we're gonna have to get somebody with that. I want to see with LaFowl.
I bet Trey will be still one. I bet Trey will take over on the punt too.
Yeah, but he wasn't. It was Crawford and
Keelan.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I bet Trey slides in on the punt. Punt defense right there. Yeah, he's got to. Trey and
one of the safeties or the cornerbacks they're coming in.
Yeah, if like Xavier's ready, or maybe even like a Jelani McDonald who's kind of been there.
Yeah, you can't forget about him. I mean,
like a Jelani or Xavier or Kobe Black.
Black.
Yeah, they're all going to be there. But that is the figuring out the 40, the shorter version. We got a special guest coming on next week, talk figuring out the 40 with us. We've had him on before. It's going to be fun when he comes back on. But to kind of close it out, I kind of wanted to talk about this this PGA deal because it's a big in the
Hold on, let me.
There you go. Pebble Beach, Coop. That's where they're playing this weekend, man.
I know, I'm rocking it.
Not the U.S. Open though, but Pebble Beach still, and the weather there has been insane. They're showing practice round. They're showing practice round shots of the wind, and they're hitting driver on par 3. With how windy it was, yeah. But this new deal for the PGA Tour is
the sport you want to be in, man. Listen to this.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty much a $3 billion investment from 7 different sports owners from all different leagues. $12 billion valuation. Players are going to get $900 million in equity shares. So it's going to be 4 quadrants of equity classifications. Roughly 700 of that million goes to just the top 36 players at the end of the year. So it's the strategic sports group is what they're calling themselves, those 7 owners. And that's what they're doing. Still nothing has done with Live yet.
So was that wasn't finalized, correct? The Live thing, it wasn't like 100%.
Oh, they haven't made any deals with them yet.
Yeah.
So pretty much this is like kind of showing they really may not be making anything soon with them. If they're bringing in that much money now.
Yeah. Well, Live will say with $3 billion. That what are you talking about? Yeah, exactly. $3 billion.
Well, and then Live came out today or yesterday and showed how they just partnered with Google to do a new like camera angle of like every shot, every view you want for their tournaments. So it's kind of like, yeah, y'all are cute with your $3 billion.
They got to get away from being on the CW though, man. They got to find something better, Fox Sports or something, man. The CW is not it.
Yeah, it's not. But man, that was an episode right there. Y'all got anything else you want to talk about before we get off here?
Next week's going to be a banger.
Yeah, sorry I didn't bring the juice, fellas. I'll be back next week, man. I'll be juiced up.
We'll figure it out.
Speaking of next week, we'll let them know what's coming. It's going to be a packed one. Packed guest. Obviously, roundtable chat next week.
It's the game of the year. It's got to be, Come on.
Roundtable chat's going to be included. A guy from Baylor joining us baseball. But the rest of the episode next week, the rest of the show is going to be the Super Bowl preview just by itself. We, of course, got Kobe or Adam Sherry coming on with us. And then we're going to have many, many guests, some who've come on with us before, some who have not. Going to have some new ones. And they're all going to come on for a little bit, back to back to back, talk about their matchup preview, what they think of the Super Bowl matchup, and who they got winning as well. They're all going to be dudes who know what they're talking about. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be fun, just banging them out, bringing guys in after just guy on guy, man. It's going to be fun. It's going to be fast.
Pause.
Huh?
Pause.
Pause.
You said guy on guy, and I said pause.
Oh, like guy on guy on guy. Yeah.
Pause. Yeah.
As you got that female looking at you in the back there, big boy.
Hey,
He's a player, boys. Y'all better watch out.
hide your wives.
Hide your wives, baby.
Oh,
Keep the
God.
door locked.
Well, coming up right now. is
That's a
gonna
good
be
one, big
our
boy. Good catch,
roundtable
man. Good
chat.
save.
Shut it. Coming up right now is our roundtable chat with Camden Kelton. Joining us now is the Camden Kelton, former Stony Point Tiger, now senior at Angelo State D2. For the people that don't know watching, we're going to get all his thoughts on it. Don't worry, but a little bit about Camden before we get going with our normally questions we do here on the roundtable chats. Last year, he was the D2 National All-Tournament team, was also the All-Defensive team for the regular season, included in 61 games. He appeared in with 57 starts with a 348 batting average and a 471 on-base percentage and 178 at-bats. Very, very impressive for the people that don't know watching. Angelo State at the D2 levels, the top as it comes, ranked number 2, I believe, in the preseason poll this year before the season gets going. But how are we doing, Cam?
Doing great, man. Thank you guys for having me. That was a nice
Oh.
intro. It was nice.
Yeah, that was a baller intro for real.
I didn't even know stats about myself. That was nice.
Well, it was like last week when we did Knicks. He was like, "Damn, I didn't even realize my stats were like that."
I know. Yeah.
But man, we're glad you're able to join us, and really, we'll just get it started off with a bang for the people watching, or some people who may not know. Kind of share a little bit about your journey from your senior year at Stony Point, obviously, and kind of where you are now at Angelo State in your last year of college ball.
Yeah. So started out at Stony Point, like he said, and man, I really didn't have too much going for myself. I had a couple of schools that were talking to me, mainly JUCOs. I think Wharton Junior College was my first offer. And then other than that, I was talking to SFA, and they ended up giving me like a preferred walk on. So I think it was those two really. It was pretty much all I was working with until I think the fall going into my senior year. I was playing with Canes and with Zach Senf. He helped me get in contact with Blinn. He knew the coach there, and they offered me, and so it definitely seemed like my best opportunity. I felt like I needed to go to a junior college just to kind of help myself develop, really help my body develop. And yeah, so I ended up going to Blinn for 2019, 20, and 21. And for 2 years. Went for first 2 years. First year was COVID, and then played my sophomore year. And yeah, honestly, it was really great for me. Like I needed to do it to get into shape and to just learn more, get more experience. And so yeah, I really developed my body at Blinn. And then I didn't after Blinn really didn't have too many other options. It was right since COVID had just happened. The money situation to go to different schools was an issue. A lot of schools didn't really have too much money because they didn't know who was going to stay and who was going to leave, and so it was just very complicated. And I was in talks with a few small mid-major D1s in Texas, and they were just seeing what they could do for me financially. And then Angelo State called. It was a really simple process. At the time, my brother was playing there, and they called me after just losing in the College World Series, and they asked, if I had another offer or if I wanted to go there. And I'd already been out there and seen all I needed to see, right? Because my brother played there, so watching their games, I really knew that they were legit. And so yeah, it was honestly kind of a no-brainer for me. Because like I said, I knew how good they were. And I had seen the facilities, and my brother was going to be there. I had a roommate. And so, yeah, it was just kind of the best opportunity by far. So I ended up coming out here 2021. And yeah, I've been out here for 2.5 years. Um, I absolutely love it. Absolutely love it. More so the baseball than anything, right? Just like the culture and this team and the coaches, it's just like more than I could have ever asked for. And yeah, so now it's fifth year. I'm a grad student, feeling like an old man, but we're gonna get after it this year.
For sure.
There you go. What aspects of your game do you feel you have improved on the most? You know, you mentioned that you played at Blinn and then now at Angelo State. Since you started playing college baseball, what aspects have on your game have you improved the most on?
Oh, wow, good question. I'd really say um, my athleticism and my range and speed. Honestly, like y'all know, back then I was never a fast guy. I might have been quick, but I was bigger, um, and so I was a catcher, corner infield, but I didn't really play like that much infield. I was mainly a catcher, and yeah, so like when I got to Blinn, I really kind of like I understood that if I was gonna give myself my best shot to go play at the next level, I really had to, pass the eye test. And I didn't want to be in the position to where like I left anything like on the table, right? I wanted to just like make sure I could do everything I can to get to the best place that I can. And so really like physically I had to make that step. And so yeah, I think I went from like my 60 in high school, like I was like high sevens, like low eights, like terrible. And then I ran like a 6'6" 2 years ago, and I ran like a 6'7", and I'm not saying I'm fast, but like just that whole aspect of my game um has really just like improved and allowed me to be just a better player, right? Just allowed me to like bunt, allow me to play better defense, and to just do things that I really wasn't doing in high school.
We're talking to Cam Kelton of San Angelo State University, stud baseball player. I remember when you were in high school, Coach Creek, he used to tell me about you, and he said you were a hard worker and you're a great kid. So I just want to let you know that.
Thank you.
But speaking of that, what's the most memorable moment you've had in your college baseball career so far? Like,
Yeah, uh, it's honestly pretty easy. It's definitely the College World Series, winning the College World Series. Last year, it was just an incredible moment, because I don't know if you do know, but 2 years prior, we had also been in the College World Series and we lost. And just getting back there and winning it this time, it was just such a incredible feeling. Like, to that feeling that all the work that you put in and everything that you do has paid off, and you're the best, and you're the best in the country, in Division II. And so it's just like it was such a satisfying feeling, and I'd say that was definitely the best moment that I've experienced so far, honestly, maybe in my life, but definitely in college baseball.
For sure. Nothing like finishing the season out the right way. That's for sure.
there's only one of them. Yeah.
Only
Yeah.
one team ends with a win, so that's the best way to do it. But you mentioned obviously this being your fifth year and all the things you kind of learned starting off at the JUCO level. Now with it being your fifth and final season, how do you kind of approach your in-season like training and conditioning to really stay at that peak performance? We mentioned you've had 58, 61 starts last year. How do you kind of go about your training to keep at that high performance that you are at?
Right. Well, I definitely have toned back the amount that I'm really like focusing on my body and focusing on being in the gym and like lifting weights. It's definitely still important to like be mobile. It's honestly like it's more stretching now and more just like staying mobile, and like feeling good. Less for me, I'm an infielder and I've always been a guy that hasn't needed to throw like a ton to have my arm in shape. And so just toning back on everything, honestly, just to like make sure that I'm feeling good and really prioritizing that, because like when I was younger, you're playing so many games, it's very hard to ever feel good, but I would push myself harder. I would be in the weight room, more often, even if we didn't have team lifts, or I would go run or I would do this and that, because I felt like I still needed to make those jumps. Not saying that I still do, but I'm valuing my health more now. It's just like the goal now is to make it through the season and to be there for my guys, so I'm on the field, right? So it's more so just about maintaining than anything. But yeah, I definitely think that still, like in the fall and in the off season, I definitely still got after it. And so, just teetering that line in between not doing too much and then not doing too little is kind of where I'm at right now. Just trying to just maintain and stay in the middle ground.
For sure. And as we mentioned, y'all are what, number 2 going into the preseason now?
I
Right?
believe,
Something like that?
I believe we're
Okay, yeah.
number. I don't know. We could be number 2. I really am not
Okay,
sure.
well, either way, it's coming up. So,
Right.
can you talk about your chemistry and teamwork within your team right now going into this year?
Absolutely, absolutely, man. Team chemistry has been one of the biggest things that I've felt as soon as I got here. Because, like I mentioned, my brother was here my first year. And so that is just like automatically, I literally have a brother on the team. But not, even aside from him, I felt like there was like 3 to 5, 6 guys that I could call like true brothers that were just like really, really there for not only me, but just for everyone. The team environment has always just been super, super cohesive. There's so much synergy. We do almost everything together. Whether it's just in the locker room or hanging out at a teammate's house, whatever it may be, we're super close. And that goes from every team that I've been on here. So yeah, this is the third team that I played with here. And we lost a couple guys that had been here for years and really added on to that team chemistry aspect. But we also gained guys like, you guys know Dax. And I played with him since, I grew up playing with him. And that's just one example. Like me and Dax, best friends, super close. There's so many guys on the team just like that. And then it turns from them being best friends to like the whole team is just like it's just a super super tight knit group. um and I feel like that's just the culture that we have here, because it took a little bit to get like that. But yeah, right now we're in a really good spot. We're all playing for each other. And yeah, I'm really excited to get this first road trip. We play in New Mexico this Friday, and so I mean, going on these road trips and just like bonding as a team, it's only going to grow. It's only going to get higher, and so yeah, I'm really excited for that.
That's good.
Nice. Now, we know JUCO baseball in Texas is huge. What's the biggest difference between when you were playing JUCO and now here at your D2? And is the competition level about the same, or what do you think?
Honestly, that's a really good question. I would say it's very, very similar, but um, I'd say teams are way more polished, and guys are more experienced, and the coaching is a little bit better. I'd say in JUCO, their talent, especially in the conference that blends in, you have San Jack, a couple other really good teams, but the talent you'd see was off the charts. You'd see great talent, but they're at a junior college typically for a reason, whether it's strikes or just there's a reason that they're there. And so they, guys tended to be just a little bit more sporadic and unpolished. And now I feel like these guys that we're playing against, they're more experienced and just developed, and honestly just maybe a little bit better, competition overall. But there is really, really good competition in these Texas JUCOs. But yeah, I think the conference that I play in, the Lone Star Conference, for Division II, is also one of the best Division II conferences. So yeah, I'd say it's about even, but overall a little bit better. What I've been playing in D2.
For sure. Well, last question, or we got 2 more questions. I'll go. I got mine, and Big Boy's got one more for you. But kind of looking at it, obviously high expectations for you and the team this season, and of course everyone that follows kind of the D2 baseball with like you mentioned, winning that national championship.
Mhm.
Kind of what are your personal goals this year, if you have any, and then kind of obviously what are the team's big goals with this season about to start this weekend?
Dude, honestly, the team goal is to go win another national championship. It's very doable. We know that it's attainable, and this team is a really good team that we have. So we all know that that's the end goal. But yeah, we can't really look too far ahead, right? We gotta take it day by day. But personally, I don't have any sort of like all American or all conference type goals at the moment. I feel like when I'm at my best is when I'm like really just playing for like my team, and I try and separate that like caring about my batting average and just like caring about my personal stuff, because then I get caught up in that. And then if I like, I'll have a bad game and I'll be like, dang, like, it affects me more than just I'm playing for the team. I did what I had to do. If I had a bad game, but I contributed and we won, I'm happy. So, um, you know, personally, I feel like if I'm at my best for the team and I'm playing and we're getting wins, then I'm gonna have a really good year. But yeah, I honestly don't really have too many like personal accolades. I think I could go be an All-American this year. I do want to win a Gold Glove. I think that I can do that. I'd say those two, but like it's not really a big focus. It's not anything like that I'm striving. I want another national championship. That's really like the goal, and that's where I show up every day, like focusing on my work and how I'm going to affect our team and how I'm going to help lead our guys, and then it'll all come full circle. So that's kind of how I look at it.
Just go back to back, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So if baseball, I know you're senior first, what's your major in? And two, what are your plans after college if baseball doesn't work out?
Yes, sir. So, yeah, I graduated last year with my business management degree. I'm currently in the master's program for business administration, and after this, it's looking like commercial real estate is what the next step for me. It's the next avenue that I really want to dive into. I've been talking with the company on DFW, so I'm gonna go back to Dallas for a little bit, and yeah, that's just where we're gonna start. Don't have the most experience in the whole work field. Baseball is what I've done, and so transition's a little bit stressful at times. But honestly, I think that if I bring the same approach to this game and just overall to how I do things and take it to work and to the commercial real estate side, then things will work out for me.
No
For
doubt.
sure.
There you go.
Well, man, Cam, we appreciate you joining us. Cam Kelton, Angelo State baseball. Go watch them, follow them this year as they go and try to repeat back-to-back national championships. Very good squad over there with a lot of good dudes and good coaching staff. So make sure y'all tune in, follow Cam and his team, and hopefully they can go win back-to-back, man.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Go get it.
Really appreciate y'all having me. Love what y'all are doing for real.
Appreciate it,
Thank
man.
you.
Thanks for coming on, man.
Sir.
Yes, sir. All right. That was the chat to close us out. Glad he was able to join us. Hope it's a great season for him, but that's going to be all the time we have.
Great kid
Today's
there, man.
episode
Sure.
of the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition. Man, we hope y'all enjoyed it. Keep supporting. We got some good things coming. Obviously, next week's going to be loaded and very eventful. And the guests are going to keep coming too, man. So remember, if you're betting on the Pro Bowl this weekend, which I hope you don't, but if you do, it's not about what the score is, but it's about how much money you got on
And
the game.
speaking of that, the squares, man.
The squares, they're cooking.
Yeah.
We got about 1 week left, so you got to be locked in for the Super Bowl squares. I think we're about 30 squares away from filling up a board. So if you still want in, let us know. Hit us up on social media. Send us an email. Bring it on, man. come win some money if you want it. And then obviously half your buy-in goes to the podcast itself. So we can get some incredible equipment, some incredible promotion, and some good views for you. You know, we got some updates coming. So maybe we'll get Coops a doorknob out of his way sometime soon. So
Hey, man. I'm living the college life, man. I'm in a little apartment. There's nowhere to do this. I try my best.
well, yeah, but we'll figure it out for you, Coop. Don't you worry. This summer you'll have a new setup. But
All right, man.
and don't forget to like, subscribe, tune into all the socials, follow us on the socials. Enjoy the weekend. Watch some other sports. Besides, if you're a football fan like Big Boy, don't watch any other sports. Get out there and watch some other sports. Big college basketball, like we said, PGA, Pebble Beach, nothing better. And you can watch some flag football if you want to, but don't forget to tune in for Tuesdays on the Edge next week. So we'll talk about everything that's coming up and the fun Super Bowl weekend next weekend. What else they got to do, Big Boy?
Ring that bell. Like, subscribe, ring that bell.
Get those notifications going. We got some big time guests coming next week. So join us next week on the Sports Roundtable Trio Edition. And thanks for tuning in
For the big game, baby.
We call a podcast. Peace.